Next question. Question for all of you. A number of issues have come up recently in the operation of county government, which give the appearance of extra-legal behavior by members of county government. For example, the high-rise downtown, Comp Light, Valley, Belmont, all these things. These may be only problems of perception. Would you be willing to create an independent office to act as an ombudsman or inspector general to deal with such problems? If not, what would you do, if anything?
We'll start with the county council candidates. Yeah, that sounds like a fascinating idea. I mean, having just heard it for the first moment right now, certainly something that I'd love to look into and see in terms of what other municipalities, what other counties have done, in terms of, how we can make something like that happen. I think that's great. We can be a leader. That's right.
I'm not in favor of creating, additional layers of government. I think we need honest politicians and honest councilmen. It is an interesting idea. It is worth looking into. However, I'd rather see the government work in an honest and open fashion the way it is now, rather than having it even be, a question like that come up. I would like the citizens to know that their councilmen and their representatives are acting in the best interest of them, and not in their own self-serving interest. So, yes, absolutely.
Actually, I do know that there are civic ombudsmen out there, as well as for a variety of other organizations. We on the Howard County Public School System have an ombudsman who has helped us enormously as we negotiate, has helped us as a board, but also helped you, the public, negotiate policies, negotiate procedures, get information in order to be able to do what's important for you and your children in relation to the school system. So a position like that, Steve, would be a very good position, because when citizens encounter difficulty, they could use the services of the ombudsman to help them through, as well as the ombudsman can like on a newspaper, call people on the carpet when they don't do it right.
Well, I don't think I can really add much to that conversation. I think that certainly an idea that has to be looked into. It's similar to the idea that Angie Belcher brought up about the zoning process. To have a third individual, a third party. It scares me, as the comments said. First, I'm agreeing with them, but to add another layer of government into our midst is certainly something I would have to be worried about and be cautious about in the process. But certainly, if there's benefit to it, I think that we should go forward.
Don't start the clock yet. I think we all need a restroom break at a certain point. So hopefully, I speak on behalf of both hats and say that was a little bit of a break. But to answer your question, I want to make sure. Teamwork.
Okay.
Thank you. I want to have direct contact with you as county executive. I don't want you to have to go through some additional layer of government to speak to me about the issues. And that's how I've operated as a county council member, and that's how I plan on operating as a county executive. I also believe that the county executive's office is set up, that they have that sort of layer of ombudsperson with 2 special assistants that report to the county executive, and then every single director, every department reports directly to the county executive. They would be your ombudsperson as well. To add another layer on top of that, I just don't think is necessary. However, you need to hold your elected citizens, your elected officials accountable. We have voting rights. At least 2 of us have voting rights. We have to hold us accountable. If we're not giving you the results you expect, you get a choice at the end of the 4-year term to remove us or to reconfirm us. In the last election, I was reconfirmed with 66% of the vote. I'm proud of that, and I think that would happen in my second term as well.
The question comes about because a number of people obviously feel there is a sense of trust that's been lost in county government. I don't like like layers and layers of government. Having said that, though, I think there ought to be a checks and balances, and I would look into the idea of an ombudsman, because I think it should be transparent. I think when you disagree that things are being done, or you think that for some reason or other that it can be done in a better fashion, you don't think that you've been heard, that there ought to be some place that you can go to have that addressed. So I'm in favor of looking into that.
In a bipartisan manner, I must echo my colleague, Mr. Burton's initial request. We're breaking something. But we'd be happy to go all night. We're breaking something. Thank you very much for the question. It's an interesting one. And it's something I would consider. And it's something I would definitely consider. I also share the same concerns about creating additional bureaucracy. I did think that the school board needed an ombudsman. And we helped with the funding to create an ombudsman for the Board of Education. I think there were a lot of issues that came up that they needed help with. The county council does have an auditor who reports to the county council for financial issues, not for broad issues, but I'm giving you an example of something in that direction. And that auditor's responsibility is to go into each county department and to audit them. So he, Ron Weinstein, and his staff go through the county to make sure that, for instance, the folks at Parks and Rec who collect the money at Centennial Lakes boat docks are collecting the right amount of money and reporting the right amount of money. So we do that on a financial level. It might be appropriate to do it, to extend it to broader issues. So thank you.
Under the Dunbar administration, I will act as the honest boxer. I will serve in that role. Unlike what is happening now, we have the developers acting in that role. The developers are running Howard County, and they're the ones that are determining what will happen in terms of development and overcrowding our public schools. I disagree with the idea of adding additional bureaucracy. Again, federal employee, 33 years. I've had national, I'll repeat, national responsibility. I will hold my employees accountable for their actions. And they will share every document, everything with the public as required. Thank you.
Thank you. The hour is sort of getting late. I want to ask all of you, we have 7 other people that are standing in line. If you're willing to remain until these questions are asked, obviously take a break right now for a few minutes. That's more than reasonable request.
I'm willing to stay.
All right. I want to do it from everyone else. All right. Well, why don't we do this? Let's take a quick 10-minute break if we can. And